This is live stream ever. Um, I haven't been serious about social media, so I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any viewers immediately. That there will probably be a few people that watch it once this video is uploaded to YouTube and Instagram, which I will be sharing on many different social media platforms. But it is my conviction to make this response to Natureboy, the YouTuber who is the leader of an occultic society based on the Christ consciousness and living in nature and all of that good stuff, right? But I have a few things that I don't particularly agree with when it comes to his belief system and his occultic society. For one, he says that he is the Christ and that, we are cells in a bigger governing body known as God, meaning the earth. He's saying the earth is God in a sense. Well, I don't agree, but I don't disagree entirely. What I don't agree with is the earth being God. Because if you read the Bible, or in other words, the book, right? It never states that the earth is God, not one time, at all. It never says we're cells of a bigger governing body, right? We were given the earth, or we were given unto the earth. And essentially, before I continue, I want to say that it is my belief that the Bible is a history book, not a spiritual book, not a religious book. It is in fact a history book. It's a history book describing, and correction, is our storybook. The melanated peoples, Black, Native American, some groups of Hispanics, and when I say some groups of Hispanics, I mean those whose ancestors were brought to their respective islands by slave traders. Okay, so it is our history book depicting the missing parts of history not recorded by our captors. Okay, so it never states, not one time, that we are on God itself, the earth, right? The belief that the earth is God, right? Gaia, right? Is an ancient Grecian Roman belief, okay? It is not something that comes from the melanated peoples whatsoever, okay? Now, do I believe that the earth is a greater governing body? Yes. I will elaborate more on that in particular later on, okay? And it kind of seems like my thoughts are a little erratic, and they are. Only because this is alive and it's coming off the top, because it's authentic. Everything I say is real, and I believe everything I say, so. Okay, back to the Response to Natureboy. I just wanted to give a brief, description of what I mean when I say that the Bible is a history book, because clearly it's, if you've ever done your due diligence in school, when they teach Black history, it starts off with what? Slavery, right? Slavery or civil rights movements. Doesn't tell you that our ruled in Europe, right? It doesn't tell you that our people, anything about our people prior to the transatlantic slave trade. When there were slave trades prior to that, okay? You have to do your due diligence and research that yourself. Also, right? not only do I believe it's a history book, it was written off. And when I say written off, not written, literally. I say written off as in made us to believe that it was a religious book. See, when people say religion, it does mean something. It is something that holds us in bondage and keeps us ignorant, because it keeps us from understanding that this book is actually our history. Okay? By telling us, oh, it's a spooky spiritual book. It's not. There's nothing spooky or spiritual about it. And when I say spiritual, I mean not factual. Okay? Spiritual in the sense of something fictional, something you have to take a blind leap of faith into. So, okay, that's that. Now, Nature Boy, which is an ignorant, stupid son of a bitch, a stupid motherfucker. Okay? He's leading these people into a dark place. He is misleading the people that he is supposed to be teaching by making them believe he is all powerful, that he is the Almighty, that he is quote unquote the Christ. Okay? And in fact, that's not even the Messiah's name. Okay? You are not the Messiah, you ignorant motherfucker. Okay? You are a scam artist and a cultic leader who fools weak and needy people into believing in you. Okay? And the truth of the matter is, okay, you going into the quote unquote wilderness, right, and accepting donations from people, that shows you're afraid to really go into the wilderness. Okay? If you were really in the wilderness, why would you need those donations? Okay? And you contradict yourself on a regular basis. I've noticed that through watching your debates, I'm going to call it, with young Pharaoh, who, he's a very bright man. I do agree with some of his ideology and his knowledge. But I'm coming from a different direction or a different part of the greater knowledge, okay? I feel like, because I'm coming from the perspective of from the same perspective of the Hebrew Israelite brothers, Tazaryak, General Yohana, and all of the ISUPK and other Israelite groups, okay? In fact, I believe in Yahweh, Yeshua, you know what I mean? But I feel like where I differ is that the Kemetic scholars, the Egyptologist scholars, the people who believe in Mizraim, right, as their home base, we are all coming from a different part of the same truth. Because Egypt, black, right? Israel, black. Entirety of Africa is black, okay? And to be called black or African is really a placeholder for, it's a way to keep you from knowing who you really are. Because it's the best way to conquer a people and make them weak, right? And keep them ignorant, right? So basically, where I disagree with you is, Nature Boy, is with how you're going about spreading knowledge. Because you're not spreading knowledge, you're spreading deceit. Okay? You're spreading ignorance, right? And teaching lies, okay? You clearly are picking and choosing what parts of this text, excuse me, you're picking and choosing parts of the text that suit your agenda. You're not, telling people the entirety. When you read it front to back, it never states half of the things that you say. Once again, you contradict yourself. You say you respect these women. You have them walking around your home naked, okay? They're serving you as if they were servants. You believe the black woman is God. You should be serving them, not in reverse, okay? And the way you humiliate other men, as a teacher, you must first show humility before you can expect the same from another, okay? Now, I'm going to clarify everything that I mentioned here in a later live, okay? But right now, I just want to say fuck you, Nature Boy, for misleading the people. And thank you to young Pharaoh for combating this evil, this demon of a person. And that concludes my live until I get home.